Hi guys, today I thought it'd be fun to show you guys how I go about setting up my desk when I do desk videos or journal videos, whatever. So if that's something you'd like to see, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So let me just get it out the way. The first thing you need to do is clean your desk. Obviously, wipe everything away, clean it up, get it out of there. So number 2 is 9 times out of 10, I'm using my planners or my journals or books and things like that. So I always start off with whatever the topic of my video is going to be. For example, if I'm making a video like today, which was a planner video, I'm going to put those down first because I want to make sure of a couple of things. First, I want to make sure that there's enough space to accommodate however big the planner or journal or whatever it is might be for the area. For instance, this Clever Fox planner is about either 9 by 11 or 8 by 11, one of those, but it's very big and I end up needing a lot of space, so I keep it open the entire time I'm setting this up. After that, you can kind of start building up your desk and building it up specifically with functions that correlate to your videos or your quote-unquote aesthetic. I don't know why I always say that, but that's what it is. So today I did Twilight, Alice in Wonderland, arguably 2 of my favorite books, not of like ever, but 2 of my favorites. But I chose those 2 very quickly. I really was feeling those 2 and I moved on. After I settle like the book part of it, I always have a little knickknacks and products that match my setup so that I have things that kind of come together. So I have the stamps and things like that with stationery that are particular to my journaling videos. I also like to add in my little figurines, whether it be Beetlejuice or my Skull Panda, who I've been naming Momo recently. I'm just obsessed with her. Or any of the figurines I have so many, but whatever. I also really like to add stationery products that I may not be using for the video, but then I use them in other videos. So today I used my Midori, I used a hole puncher, and other things that I would 9 times out of 10 use in a different journaling video. The next step is kind of a me thing, but I always like to make sure my hands look nice because that's kind of the main thing you'll see when you look at these videos. So I make sure my nails are done and I make sure that I'm wearing lotion, which is very, very important to me. The one I'm using today is hyaluronic acid from, I think it's Bath & Body Works. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is. I'm doing this audio recording without paying attention to the video, so I'm hoping I'm correct. And after that, correlating with that section of my video, I like to wear my rings. I do have a skin allergy that stops me from being able to wear them for long periods of times. So I slide them on while I'm getting ready for a video and I take them off right after. I have a very normal skin allergy a lot of people have. I thought I was just allergic to nickel, but apparently I'm allergic to a lot of metals because it's not just nickel, because even nickel-free stuff, it makes my hands turn and my hands start itching and I break out. It's horrible, whatever. But I always like to have my rings on. So this is what my rings look like today. I think it looks really cute. I try to keep it really, really minimal because I feel like since my hands are so short, rings don't always look great stacked on them. And they kind of emphasize how short my fingers are, but that's just me. So for the end of this video, I'm going to give you guys a few tips, just a little bit more help if you need it. A tip I kind of always give, which is to make sure that you are focusing on what you set up is looking like what you actually enjoy and not necessarily what you think people will like. I'm not saying don't listen to your followers or your subscribers, whatever they are, but I am saying that it needs to look authentic. It needs to look like you. So make sure whatever you're using on your desk is you. Next tip is to choose quality over quantity. Now, I'm a maximalist through and through, but sometimes I do bulk up my desk a little bit too much, and that can be a problem. So what I do instead is I don't allow myself to go over 3 to 5 things in a certain category. If I want different parts of myself to be on my desk, so if I want the bookish side, the journaling side, the, figurine collector side, I won't go over 3 to 5 things in those categories. So normally I don't go over 3 books in any of my videos, but 3 to 5 is my my nice spot, and they're always stacked above each other. And if they're not stacked above each other, they may be at a different angle than they normally are, so you can kind of see the edges of the book but nothing else. If I want to do stationery, then I may have a couple clips, I may have some pens or my stamps, another journal around, but again, keeping it 3 to 5 just so my desk doesn't look too clunky. Your girl is a maximalist, but it does get to be a bit much sometimes. Following that tip is, if you are a maximalist and you want a more maximalist setup, then keep 1 or 2 spaces available for things you may want to move around. I always keep either the right side of my setup or the top right empty. That's just because I'm right-handed and it's easier for me to move stuff with my right hand, and it's the first thing I think to do. So especially when I'm doing like journal with me videos, because a lot of times I'll have scraps or scissors that I have to put down, and since I'm using my dominant hand, I typically have the space where my dominant hand will go. So if you're left-handed, you may want the left side to be a little less filled, or if you're right-handed, like I said, have that little less filled, or if you're dominant in both hands and it doesn't really matter, then, you know, choose it wherever. But it's a little bit easier when you have space somewhere to not only have a place to put stuff down, but also a place to like put your hand down. And if you aren't using both of your hands, or maybe you just want to rest your hands for a second, you have somewhere to put them. Okay, next one is, I don't think you have to do this. I don't think you have to do any of these things, but I think this is something that kind of makes your videos look a little bit more interactive, which are angle changes. So normally if I'm doing journal content, I do 85% of the time have it like as a flat lay look. So you're directly above my desk. You're not on the side and you're not switching angles. But something that can make your videos a little bit more cinematic is if you change angles. So for example, I may give you a close-up of my hand while it's writing. I may give you a side angle, or maybe like a bird's eye view of where I'm getting my stickers from, or I may have a shot of me going to my bookshelf and getting some washi tape from there. I always keep it a bit interactive. Well, not always, about 85% of the time I keep my videos interactive. You don't have to do this, but if you want something to feel a little bit more cinematic and a little bit more like a lot's going on, you can do that. And my last tip, this may be a little counterproductive to what I said earlier, but don't let anything on your desk remove the focus from the main thing you're focusing on. So for example, I have Beetlejuice and my skull panda on my desk, and sometimes I think that can be a little bit distracting, but people who watch my videos a lot know that I have one of those figurines consistently on my desk in my videos. So eventually they'll probably get used to seeing it. But for things that are way too distracting to the point where someone's, I don't know, I might go towards it, I try to keep it out. For example, one figurine that you guys never really see unless I show my bookshelf is I have this little Minnie Mouse bobblehead, but it's not just a bobblehead, our whole body moves. And you know, they work by using the solar light, right? So when the sun hits it, it moves. I don't put it in my videos mainly because I think it's very distracting to see something move while I'm doing something else, and I think it can really like make your eye go that way. Or if I get like a new release, I may not put that new release book on because it may be distracting. It may be like, for instance, I don't think putting Twilight on my desk is that big of a deal, but when I was setting up this video, I put Alice in Wonderland on the bottom because it's a different edition and it's very pretty to me. So I didn't want that to be too distracting, so I put it under it. That way, you know, if at the end of the video or whenever they stop watching the video, they want to ask me about it, they can, but it's not removing their line of sight from what I'm doing. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So yeah, that's it for this little video. I hope you enjoyed and got some tips from it. If you did, check out some of my other videos, and I will see you guys in the next one, which is a planner video. And I'm very excited to show you my rings because listen, I think this is it. Like, I probably won't go back to doing bounded planners, but we're gonna talk about that next week. Until next time, peace out, Girl Scouts.